Hi everyone, welcome to Medi-Veggie.
Hi, good afternoon. We made it to Wednesday. I know it's been a challenging week for some, but I'm so proud that all of you made it to today's Medi-Veggie meeting. And if you stumble across us for the first time, Medi-Veggie is here every Wednesday. We encourage health from the mind to the body. So during the show, you will always be getting vegetarian recipes or tips and a short 15-minute guided meditation. You can join us here on the Zoom call, or you can also watch our stream through Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or LinkedIn. So how are you guys all doing today?
Good. I'm very excited today. We have a couple new faces. We have for the first time, a Vietnamese elder who decided to join us today. Chú Chin, or Uncle Chin, he's here. So he's checking us out, making sure that we know what we're doing, I think.
Hi, Uncle Jin. Thank you for joining us.
I know he's on mute, so he's waving now. But yeah, it should be a super fun day today. I'm excited that we have Emma, our special guest today. Esther, you know Emma from somewhere. Can you share with us?
Yeah, I would love for Emma to introduce herself officially once we begin the show. But for now, I want to let everyone know that Emma and I met at college, Santa Clara University. We got to go on an immersion trip together where we both, learned more about the East Oakland community and ways to support people there. And we briefly got to work together, and that's when I got to spend the most time with Emma. So I am grateful for that chapter in my life for that reason. And now Emma is a crisis counselor. So.
Wow, that's intense. I can't wait to ask her more about that. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
So Emma has joined us a few times on Medi-Veggie, and now she's, officially going to share a super fun recipe when the time comes. But how are you, Dr. Smita and Mina? Good. I love that you're at the beach, Mina, enjoying that ocean breeze. And Dr. Smita, how are you feeling today? You look like you're, in a field of wildflowers.
I am. I'm in the Valley of Flowers in the Himalayas, and it's just a beautiful trek. And I'm sort of like ready to go, take off, because I'm kind of done being at home.
Feeling this. I mean, more so than last year. When you say I feel extra edgy, extra anxious. Mm-hmm. So Emma, you're right here for us, the crisis counselor.
Yeah, tell us what's with that.
Yeah. So how about you, Ashley? How you doing?
Yeah, doing good. Kind of like the rest of y'all, just really angsty, wanting to get out.
I know, but I think the county has lifted some restrictions, right? We can eat out and eat in, I guess, but I would still caution everyone to be cautious.
Emma, were you saying something earlier?
Oh, it's fine.
Oh, it's fine to be a crisis counselor for all of us. Is that what you're talking about? Hi, Du, would you like to say anything to the audience? You're welcome to speak Vietnamese too. Để chú muốn nói tiếng Việt cũng được, để cho mấy cô chú bác để biết, để mà tới với tụi cháu, để thiền với tụi cháu mỗi thứ Tư từ 12:15 đến 12:45.
Okay, I will talk in Vietnamese language. Okay, I like it to join this group. Tôi muốn join với cái nhóm này để nó sẽ đúng là muốn return lại cái thời kỳ mà mình còn trẻ và muốn học tất cả những cái gì mà những tuổi trẻ biết. Đôi khi tuổi già không biết, nhưng mà tuổi trẻ biết. Đâm ra cái tôi muốn học lại ở mấy tuổi trẻ, và thứ nhất đó là để tìm gặp những người tuổi trẻ của Việt Nam mà yêu tiếng Việt, thích làm thơ, rồi thích viết văn, thì tôi có thể gọi là truyền đạt được những cái gì, cái kinh nghiệm của mình cho các tuổi trẻ và sau này tôi nghĩ rằng mình đi rồi thì cái tuổi trẻ này sẽ nối tiếp những cái con đường và giữ lại cái văn hóa cho Việt Nam ở hải ngoại. Đó là
Dạ,
cái ao ước của tôi. Và cái
cảm
kinh
ơn chú.
nghiệm của tôi hồi xưa là viết văn, đọc báo, quân đội thì là Air Force, tức là không quân đấy. Thì đó là cái background của tôi đó. Yeah.
Cảm ơn chú rất nhiều. Và so I'd like to quickly translate a little bit. So what poet Jin shared with us is he said he likes to join the younger generation, this young group, but we're young, not just me, we're young, okay? This young group to learn from us, and also to participate in whatever it is that we're doing. And because he's a poet and a cultural bearer, he also would like to encourage the younger generation to maintain our culture, especially the Vietnamese, and to learn how to speak Vietnamese, to write poetry. And poet Jin's background is, of course, he's a writer, poet, but also he was in the Air Force. So he's, expressing that he's really enjoying being here and watching us and learning. So, cảm ơn chú.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess you're gonna take over, Esther.
Yeah, here I go. Well, it is 12:15, so officially, thank you and welcome to Medi-Veggie today. We're here every week from 12:15 to 12:45, where you'll get vegetarian recipes and also a short guided meditation. Today, we have a special guest who I am very proud to call a friend of mine. Her name is Emma Farrell. Emma is a crisis counselor, and I'm going to let her introduce herself today.
Hello. Yeah, thank you, Esther, for reaching out, and for all of you and Trami and Dr. Smita for having me. So I am a graduate of Santa Clara University, like Esther, which is where I met her. And since I've worked in academic counseling, and I'm currently in the process of applying to graduate programs for counseling. And so in the meantime, I do crisis counseling for youth. So I sit at home, I answer chats and phone calls, and talk people through what they're going through, and help them explore. But then in my meantime, especially now that I'm stuck at home, I'm doing a lot of gardening, a lot of cooking, a lot of fermenting, which ties into what I'm sharing today.
Thank you, Emma. I imagine that the work doesn't really let up during this pandemic. So
No.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe it's even grown during this time.
It definitely has. And the nice thing is that I was working with a call center that was in person, but we've managed to go completely online, so we can get more and more volunteers because the demand is just insane.
Yeah, I would think so.
Lovely.
Are you finding fermenting sort of peaceful for you at this time, and kind of giving you more in your batteries to be able to help other people?
Definitely. And one of the things I often do when I've gotten off of a shift is I'll go and I'll either tend to the garden, or I'll go, prep a batch of ginger beer for the week, because I make it for the whole family, and it takes a lot of peeling and chopping and boiling. And so I'll sit down and just like put on some good music and do that for a couple hours to decompress.
Wow.
Well, if you all are ready, I'm going to go ahead and play Emma's video for us today.
Yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit? Oh, I see. Okay. We know what this is about. But Emma, did you want to just quickly tell us what this is about?
Yeah, so when I'm sure a lot of you have heard about sourdough starters, which people started trying out during this pandemic, which is basically you get natural yeast and bacteria to culture some flour and water, and then you use that to kickstart something like making bread or crackers or bagels, whatever you want to make. And so the first half of this video explains how to make a ginger bug, which is a similar concept. And once you have this kind of culture, you can use it to ferment teas, juice drinks, ginger beer, all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
I love it. It's so great. And you know, your video is so calming and
Thank
right.
you.
I could just watch it forever.
Yes. I wasn't like this, I was right there with you and I loved the angles and it was just magical. Like those little bubbles. Can you get drunk on this?
Yes, I want to know that.
Yes. So it's a living thing, and so the bacteria. The reason you need the sugar, and I know a lot of people are trying to be health conscious, but you can't cut out sugar, you can't skimp on it because that's what the bacteria eat. And the longer you ferment whatever drink you're making, the less sugar there will be in it, and the more of it will get converted to lactic acid, CO2, but then it also produces alcohol. So just like, if you get like a really strong kombucha, it could be a little boozy. If you forget about your bottles, one, you shouldn't forget about them because in theory, they can explode if it's like warm and you just leave them. But it will get mildly alcoholic. So I have left some to be less sweet and been a little tipsy off of it. So it's a balance.
Not bad after a crisis shift, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Emma, so what are some of the benefits of drinking ginger beer or brew?
Yes, so and something I should note is that you can use, once you have a ginger bug, you can strain off liquid and add it to any sweetened beverage you want. So you can brew whatever tea you want, add sugar, and then add bug and ferment it that way. You can do the same thing with juices, lemonade. But so ginger has a lot of medicinal properties, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware. It can be especially good at helping calm nausea, or it's good for anxieties, migraines, those kinds of things. But then the culture that you get from the fermented foods, like you would with sourdough, kimchi, things like that, you're introducing lots of really healthy bacteria and yeast into your digestive system. And not only is your immune system connected to your digestive health. We all need stronger immune systems right now. But there's a lot of studies that show that stress and your digestive tract, gut flora health are intricately intertwined. So if your gut flora is off, you're likely to feel more stressed. If you're more stressed, it's going to affect your digestive tract. So introducing more fermented foods and those kinds of those probiotic foods is an easy way to kind of increase your health. And then it's also a healthier version of, say, like a soda, which isn't it's gonna taste good, but it's not gonna do anything for you.
Right.
Do you know if it makes you gassy? I was just wondering. No. Okay.
It should actually do the opposite because you need, oftentimes when you get gassy from eating things like beans, one, you need to soak beans beforehand to get rid of some of the toxins. But it's because your guts aren't like really breaking it down properly, and so you make gas.
So ginger actually helps with that. That is why in all Indian dishes which are gassy, they add tons of ginger.
I'm curious about why you picked ginger. And the reason is that there are so many, like I just looked up top 12 fermenting books, right? And there's so much out there about fermentation, everything from vegetables to miso, tempeh. What is it about what captured you with ginger? I mean, I was captured with sourdough. So I have 15 experiments going on at all times with sourdough, different kinds of starters. What was it about ginger for you?
I really like ginger beer. The reason I have all those bottles is because my dad really likes ginger beer. So I started saving the bottles. And I also really like kombucha. And I've found, that has really helped me with my anxiety, and it's also delicious. But buying kombucha all the time can be expensive, and I'm not emotionally and time-wise ready to invest in a SCOBY. They kind of scare me. So this is a much more achievable way to start fermenting my own beverages. And now, I love them. Everyone in my house loves them. And the ginger,
Go ahead.
Oh, so you can use also, you can do things like use turmeric instead of ginger to make a bug. And I'm actually starting that now.
I wanted to ask that because I drink turmeric and ginger shots every day.
Yeah, the reason I use ginger is because it's a little easier to find. I know at Sprouts they have boxes of organic ginger for a reasonable price, and you need to use organic. So finding organic turmeric is can be hard for me, because if it's conventional, they usually irradiate it, which will kill off any of those surface microbes that you need to actually ferment.
Wow, that is so cool. So you're going to start the turmeric. You know, it's so funny because this week I bit my lip so badly and it was like bleeding everywhere. And my mom's like, come back, come over here. And she put her finger in the turmeric and popped it on my lip. And all the inflammation went down. And the next day it was healed. It was like this magic, like,
So Mina, we've been doing that in India. Anytime we got hurt, my mom would put turmeric on our wounds.
Same with
because it has,
yeah.
yeah.
In Vietnam, we put that on everything. So you see people walking around with the yellow.
Yeah. And
yeah, it's so cool. Like it's just
before we get
on scars, right?
Yeah.
So if you have like an operation or a cut or something, you're supposed to put that on. It's supposed to heal it without leaving a scar or help it.
So is the process of doing turmeric, ginger, any of those kind of roots, is the process of fermenting those and creating the bugs similar?
Yes, absolutely. I haven't experimented with anything besides turmeric or ginger, but I've heard of other roots, that you can use in that process. So it's just finding it and maintaining it.
Thank you, Emma, so much for sharing your knowledge with us about the homemade ginger bug and fermented drink. We'd love to pick your brain a little more after meditation, if you're able to stay on. So yay, Dr. Smita, can you please share with us about today's meditation?
Yeah, today's meditation is about self-care and self-love. So we are having a continuation of the intense energies. I have been talking to, friends and family members, and people are really feeling it. This is just, there's something going on, not sure what, but sometimes when we are feeling this intensity, we tend to get stressed. Everything looks bigger than what it is. Our problems look bigger than what they are. And so when we start going deep within, connecting to our spirit, increasing the chi in our body, we can actually sail through this time. We can manage it much better. So that's why I said, okay, let's do a self-care meditation. So that's what we're doing today. All right, so if you are ready in your quiet spot, and I'm assuming that by now, if you've been with Medi-Veggie, you have a spot where you like to go sit down and relax. And just keeping your eyes closed, bring your attention to your breath. And do a quick check, see how you're breathing. Is your breathing fast, slow, easy, not so easy, deep or shallow? There's a sense of exhaustion, a feeling of exhaustion in our bodies. Being forced to stay indoors. not being able to travel, not being able to go see our loved ones, I think we are beginning to realize why it is so important to have our loved ones around us, or to be able to go out with a sense of freedom and fearlessness. And how that keeps us mentally, emotionally, physically feeling good. And when we are feeling a deep exhaustion, usually it is because we aren't able to connect to the deepest part of us, our spirit. Our spirit is connected to the universe and to nature, to all beings in nature, and is essentially inexhaustible. So when we do feel this tiredness in our body, it is because we are not connecting to our spirit. And so today, this is what we are doing. We will connect to the life force energy within each of us. And we'll focus on deep self-care. Let us begin with the breath. Our breath is like a thermometer. It tells us how we are feeling if we begin to notice how we are breathing. Take a deep breath in. Fill up your lungs and all your organs with fresh, invigorating oxygen. And hold it in for a moment. And then release through your mouth, making the exhale longer than the inhale. Let us do that again, one more time. Take a deep breath in, hold, and let go. Just a few gulps of fresh oxygen have tremendous ability to revitalize our system. And now bring your focus back to your breath, just regular breathing in and out. Begin to feel the rest that your breath can give you if you just focus on it. And now slowly begin to visualize yourself standing under a gently falling waterfall. There is a softness, a mistiness, a restfulness in the space where you are under the waterfall. Every drop of water, as it falls on your body, soothes you and cleanses you deeply. Allow this beautiful waterfall to touch every part of your body. From the top of your head down to your toes. No part of your body is left untouched by the gentle, soothing water drops. Allow this water to wash away the tiredness, the exhaustion, the aches and pains in your body. Think of that one area, physical or emotional, that is the cause of your discomfort. And whatever comes first to your mind is what needs your attention most. Wherever the pain is located, simply allow the waterfall to wash it away. Feel the water taking away this pain, unearthing it from its roots, releasing into the earth below. And Mother Earth takes care of all our pain. Let her transform it and turn it into something beautiful. Now think of another part of your body or another emotional area that needs your attention. Anything that's bothering you is leaving you restless. It's like a thorn constantly pricking you. Just let it wash away. Feel the rejuvenation in your system. Feel the cleansed feeling. Today's meditation. And now step out of the waterfall, feeling refreshed, feeling really good. And now give yourself a good drying off with a fresh, white, clean towel. Just visualize it. Let the towel soak away any remainder, any leftover pain in your body. Take a deep breath and release. And feel a comforting warmth move up from the bottom of your feet, moving up your legs, your hips, your abdomen, your lungs, and your chest. Feel this comforting warmth move up your back, your entire back, your lower back, and your upper back. Feel the warmth release any tension or weight off your shoulders. Feel it move into your arms, your hands, and your fingers. Feel it flow up your throat and your neck, relaxing all the muscles there, releasing any tension in those areas. Feel this warmth flow up your face, filling up every part of your face with a comfort, with love. And now feel this warmth move into your scalp. Feel it move into the pores of your hair, relaxing all the muscles there and releasing any tension. Now take one more deep breath and release. Feel the deep rest, the self-care you just gave yourself, and the connection with your inner being, your inner spirit, that you just revitalized. And stay in the state of deep rest as long as you wish. Namaste.
Thank you so much.
I feel like I just become young again after these meditations. I feel like, we're all the same age, like there is no age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is everybody feeling?
I'm sorry, I tell you way. You have a voice look like reading poetry. Very sweet.
Thank you.
Aw.
Yeah.
Thank you. I see Marcos is here. Marcos, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good today. Yeah,
How are you feeling after the meditation?
good. I needed that. Yeah,
I think it's good to just spend 15 minutes and not be doing something or thinking about something else, or that whole buzzy thing that we do all the time. So it's nice to just follow your voice and just kind of just tune out the world for 15 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the fermentation thing we talked about earlier with Emma, I feel like she's fermenting, like the sugar is actually being turned into alcohol. And I feel like the toxins in my body, and then you take the meditation, which is the fermentation, and it's creating a free spirit, like a bubbliness and a lightness. So like there's this whole theme today for me around You know, is fermentation aging? Is it, I don't know why, that whole lightness.
It's revitalizing, right? It's
Yeah.
revitalizing because that's what it does to our system, actually.
You know, since you're talking of aging, we do have, Jin, who's like 80 years old. I would love to know what his secret is to keep his
Yes.
body and spirit. Just he's like has more energy than I do. So chú Jin, tụi cháu muốn hỏi là chú làm gì để mà bảo toàn sức khỏe, với lại lúc nào cũng có rất nhiều energy. Chú làm gì?
Yeah, I talk in Vietnamese language as you translate, okay?
Okay.
I talk about my experience. Muốn giữ cái sức khỏe thì thứ nhất phải làm sao cho mình buông được tất cả.
So the first secret to having health is to be able to let go of everything.
And giữ một cái im lặng cũng như là cái cô Meta mới nói vừa xong.
To keep silence, just like what Smita just shared, like to be silent.
And almost smile.
And smile.
Yeah, smile with anybody.
Smile
And
with everyone.
give a love with them. And when we give a love with them, they will give us love. So because of that, we're happy every day. So we can get health good.
I love this advice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so simple, right? So simple. We make our own lives complicated. And as long as I've known Ju Jin, he's always been that way. From the moment I met him to now, he's always been welcoming, smiling, positive, and just like, yeah, we can do it. We can do anything, you know? He's just always been that way. Yeah.
You see, we can do anything as long as we let go.
Yep.
Yeah. I have a full poetry for you.
Poetry.
Please.
Cháu
Translate.
cho mi dịch lại cho chú ha.
Okay.
Khi mà chú nhìn thấy cái bông mà rung rinh ở trên cái màn ảnh, chú viết 4 câu thơ như vậy. Tình em theo gió rung rinh cánh, mang cả hồn anh tới thiên đàng. Hỏi ai, ai đó người trong mộng, đông đã tàn và xuân chớm mùa sang. Cháu dịch cho chú đi.
I would do my best here. I try to type it, and okay, it's he said, because he is inspired by the flower imagery that we had. He says, love follows the wind, causing the petals to, dance, right? Taking my soul up to heaven. I'm asking who is in my dream. Câu cuối cùng là gì chú?
Đông đã tàn và xuân chớm mùa sang.
Winter has faded and spring is coming.
Wow, I love it. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I love
Uncle Jin.
poetry.
Thank you.
It's so romantic, isn't it?
It's
I have
beautiful.
A lot of poetry. I write down one 4,000, and I have around 5 books already. So who wanna read the Vietnamese language of poetry? I will give it.
So he says,
how did you start poetry? How did you, when you were a child, were you always thinking in poetic ways? Were you always an observer? Tell us about your evolution as a poet.
The following I'm sorry, the following come from your blood, your parent, and the eye. When did you see that? Okay, the children can dancing with it, so you can write it down. The more you write, the more you can create the poetry. That's exactly what I did. When I write down the poetry, I am still very young, 14-year-old. I write the poetry until now. So right now I write a novel. I am a report and retired working in IBM engineering. I quit it. I stay home. I write down a book. Yeah, I love for my life. Thank you for.
Mm.
Thank you, Uncle
Thank
Chin.
you.
Thank you, Uncle. Can I call you Uncle too?
Yeah, I'm too old now. I want to learn from young. I am almost I am 80-year old.
Yeah. You
So
know, speaking of other writers, I know we have other writers in this room. Trami has published and written a book. Emma herself is also a poet, and she keeps a blog. And I'd love for Emma to share about that.
Okay, if you want to learn, everybody can read, can write down. Everybody.
So tell
Yeah.
us about your blog, Emma.
So I have to be upfront. I haven't posted to that blog in a while, but right now I'm Catholic, and so we're in the season of Lent, and I'm getting back into writing and separating myself from social media. So there will be things there, but I feel like after college, where I was surrounded by poets and artists and writers and musicians like Esther, and just surrounded by creativity. And then being, an adult in the world and not having so many outlets. So it's a space where I reflect and I write about sustainable practices and the like. But I also write poetry, although not nearly as much.
I
You
think
still have
this
many
way.
more years to go.
Okay. I think this way. You write down everything you think in the mind. You write it down. And after that, you leave it away about 1 week. And you open back. You read it again.
Mm.
And you can edit it. Just after that, about 1 year or maybe 2 years, you can perfect. Be the perfect writer. Yeah.
I
That's
have all
what
my
Emma is
lines.
showing you. Yep, she writes a lot.
But
yeah.
at least
Oh, I love it.
just show
So
love it. You don't love it, you cannot read anything. You cannot do anything about it.
exactly.
You write down.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are
So I
fermenting.
journal.
Write down. I'm sorry, do not write down. But just show them what being in love people and love everything. And you can write it down. But you write down when somebody read it, but you don't feel anything. That because you wrote that down. What just so don't write. Just so
Oh,
write in your hand and write. That is
If
the
your
way.
soul is writing it, then when the
yeah.
reader reads it, they feel it too. If it's just you just writing whatever, then they won't feel it. I think that's what.
So I journal. I have a blog too on the Kinder Way Healing blog. So I post, but then I secretly write poetry.
Do you really?
Which I
Okay.
never, and I have been writing since I was very little, like 5 or 6 years
But
old.
your voice very good. You know,
So why in secret? Why do you keep it a secret?
It's
you
a
have to write
dialogue with
down.
myself. But I have some like areas where I will post, but usually it's under a pseudonym.
I
Oh,
think everybody can write down.
Mm.
Everybody can write.
after my husband died, I actually used to go to Lake Chabot and I used to rent one of those canoe things, those little, not canoes, not paddle boats, the little kayaks. I used to get a kayak, a single kayak, and I would drop my daughter off at daycare, like in the morning. And that was that first month after he died. And I would go every day out into the kayak and I would write poetry at 9 o'clock in the morning with nobody on the lake, and I would watch the herons fly. And it was like every time I sat in the kayak and wrote, something would come, my spirit would be stirred. Now I haven't written poetry since then, but I just when you were saying you were writing in secret, and like here I was on my kayak, like writing and having, I wonder why we don't write down the things that are deep down. Like, is there a reality to actually putting it on paper like that? It's real. You know what I mean?
I can
Yeah, I know.
identify with it because when I also wrote poetry, whatever, when I was younger, right? And then I decided to shred it all because I didn't want people to know. I didn't want people to, I don't know.
Mm.
I think because I don't think I would feel that way today, but back then there was this whole, you're not, especially in the Asian culture, right? You're not to share your feelings or something, or your pain or suffering. Because, right, we don't write, most of the time, we don't write poetry because like we're happy, right? Usually it's like you're trying to
Yeah.
express something that's hard. So I ended up like destroying most of it, if not all. I mean, I may have one little book left, but I don't know where it is anymore. But yeah,
Mm.
I even started to write like a autobiography kind of, and then I destroyed it too. Yeah. There's something about the culture not allowing us to say things like it's supposed to be secret or you're not supposed to share the pain. I don't know.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Such a good insight. So true. I think everybody here just went, oh, I did. It's like so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Jamaican right now, the poetry, because she have a flood. Her mom, her young mom have a write poetry. So
My
she
mom has
can
a
write it.
poetry book out. My grandma, grandparents, but yeah, and then I get like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm supposed to play a role in this society. And that role is not to be a poet, why, I don't know why. It's just, that's my role.
You're
And it's that soft side or something is not allowed to be seen.
so if you start looking at yourself, as somebody who is not in the society, but what is your relationship with yourself, right? That's where poetry comes in. It has
Yeah,
nothing to do with the
all right.
society. It has nothing to do with anybody else outside of you. It has everything to do with your connection to yourself.
Yeah, but at least we have something connect with us. So
But I have
from
no
that,
desire to write, so it's kind of like, maybe it's done, right? I think it's a healing thing you do, you're done with it. And not
Yeah.
everyone, so it was just a vehicle for me and
See,
I'm done.
for me, it comes in a burst, so I can't escape it because I may be sitting, meditating, and suddenly the words flow, and I have to capture them and put them down because then they flow out. And sometimes I wake up in the morning with words floating, and um, it's if I don't capture it right away. So that's how I write, and it's been like that since I was a kid. I would end up writing on paper napkins because whatever I could grab next to me, So I've lost a lot of that stuff too, but now I just actually type it out. I keep saving, I type. And one day, maybe somebody will find it. Who knows?
Maybe you in your next life will find it.
Well, who knows? Yeah, but I do have like some places where I post, under like a pseudonym. So
What about you, Esther? I know you write songs and, like what is that process like for you?
Well, it changes. Lately, I've actually started with the lyrics first and then the music, which hasn't always been the case. But I think lately I've just been wanting to be a lot more intentional because I'm older now, I can't just write whatever comes to me on a whim. Like, I want to write something that I'm like, yeah, this was like the deepest wisdom I could churn out of my own brain and, sing
no,
about
you're
that.
not on. You're still young. Very, very
Good
young.
point.
Very still on. I am young now.
yeah.
Age is relative.
Who is asking you to lose your inner child? Don't ever lose your inner child.
Yeah.
Esther, do you find yourself like, do you find you have to filter yourself? Like, you're like, oh, I want to write that, but oh, that's too kiddie like, or that's not too serious enough, or that's too intimate, so that I'm going to change it. Do you find yourself doing that?
Not really like that. I mean, I still will like write little tiny songs, about like my musings and feelings I have. But I think just like when it comes to holding things I'm finding sacred, like if I want to write about another person, I'm like, okay, I want to take this seriously. So then maybe I'll like journal for a while, and then I'll start like typing into my notes, and then like weeks later I'll be like, okay, I'm ready to, try and sing it, and then it's a song.
Yeah.
You write down the music?
Yes, Esther
Yeah.
writes music.
Yeah.
Have
We
you
have
ever
a
written
very talented crew here.
Have you ever written a letter? Like when I'm angry or upset or something, sometimes I'll like write a long letter. And I've saved some of those letters like in my diary for like when I was working out stuff. So you write it down, then it doesn't matter anymore. And I'm looking like I should go back there. That would be probably a lot of good inspiration for poetry. All those letters that I wrote to, you pissed me off when you didn't put the garbage, take the garbage out. And then, like whatever.
You're in good company, Mina. Yeah, I do that. And I think everyone else here does that too, because I think I saw all of us just like nod.
Even Marco. I'm like watching him go like this.
Yeah.
It's one of those techniques I have learned to use. It's a great technique to process things, process hurts and wounds and feelings that we want to see resolved. So, I mean, that's what I even send myself an email actually. If I'm really upset and I want to email somebody, like really write horrible stuff, but I know that it's not going to do any good to that relationship, right? If I just do a send.
So I have to write me any.
No, not so far.
Not yet.
But I just I send it to myself because then I have released that emotion, the energy of that emotion that I'm feeling, and now I'm emptied, and it's a great feeling to be emptied, and then go from there.
Sometimes though, don't you just want to hit it and send it to that person? Like,
of course, of course. Of course, which is why good advice is you sleep over it one night before you hit the send button.
We have a little message from Hadi Agi for Emma's recipe. He says he's not a beer drinker, but he likes his ginger, his garlic soup, and it always hits a spot, and it is healthy. He put chicken in there, but I omitted reading chicken because this is Medi-Veggie after all. Hadi.
mock chicken. You could probably put mock chicken.
Mock chicken, Hadi. You can get them in any Asian store. It even has the skin that looks like chicken skin.
Oh my God.
Really?
It's all made out of like tofu, gluten stuff.
Yeah. And then, there's always tofu, like you said, and there's a ton of veggies. Like the veggie world is incredible in its variety. So.
Well, you know how you guys, when you have like words that come to you, for me, I wake up, like I go to bed and I wake up with spices. And I'm like, literally, the spices are just flying. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, saffron.
Oh my God.
I'll wake up like kefir lime. And then it's like, I don't know, it's weird. Like today was lemongrass. So I'm like looking for lemongrass, and I made lemongrass tea and with chai, and my mom and dad are like, what's this? And I'm like, how do I just want lemongrass today? So weird.
Hadi just replied to our comment about his chicken comment. He says, oops.
Did you remind him it's a process? Did you say to him, hey, this is a journey? We're all on the continuum?
Our artist Hadi will be featured soon, sometimes in March. I forget now which day.
March 17th. So
great. Is going to be
St. Patrick's Day?
Really? Okay. It's going to be around Iranian New Year. Did I get the country right? Oh my God.
Yeah.
The Persian New Year. Yeah, Navroz.
I'm okay. I'm excited about that. Yeah. Green, vegetarian, Persian food.
Oh my.
Yeah, I know someone really good. Her grandma has a restaurant.
I have a strange request as we enter the conclusion of our show. So we've talked about writing, we've talked about consolidating thoughts together, and I just checked out Emma's blog, and one of her latest posts is a prose poem about music and the roles it plays in our lives. And I'm wondering, Emma, If you would be comfortable closing our show by reading that prose poem.
Certainly. Let me go find it because I don't have my blog up
Lovely,
right now.
thank you. I just put her on the spot and she's down. That's saying a lot. I did
Oh,
not
I
ask her
know.
beforehand about that.
Is she
So-
our new poet laureate? A poet laureate?
I
Oh.
know, right? A Medi-Veggie poet laureate.
I love it.
If you ever find my poetry on my blog, it's not something I've spent a lot of time on. So I save
And
those for
always
other
modest, always modest.
things.
So let us know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Lovely.
So this is called Invested. When the evening pulls the sun down and the day is almost through, oh, the whole world it is sleeping, but my world is you. When I was going to school at Santa Clara, my best friend banned Thinking Out Loud because it had been their song. Shall I write it in a letter? Shall I try to get it down? Oh, you fill my head with pieces of a song I can't get out. When I was studying in Italia, my roommates banned Bloom, but when they left, I would tiptoe to the laptop and press play. Can I be close to you? When I was living in the Flip, the island boy banned all music. He'd had his heart broken, and it terrified me because I think in songs. I wake up singing the soundtrack to my walking, and half the words that exit my lips are lyrics. But when I left Italy, I left 146 handwritten notes behind, and 64 of them were song lyrics, because she was in my every thought, and the backdrop to my thoughts has always been music. Let's keep it business, let's keep it casual, let's keep it fun for you and me so you can see a win-win history. Now I'm living in San Jose. I still love the Struts. Brandy Carlisle has taken on a second sense, but she still sings as sweetly. The one thing I can't shake is Jim Croce. He still makes me sad. And Stranger Things may have made me cringe, but I've reformed my fear of fleet foxes, and of monsters and men still makes me smile. You tell me they are heretics, and I tell you you're ridiculous. Love is like a big ski mountain. You hike all the way up and you fly right down. Everyone's talking about flying through the mountain. I just want to talk about hiking all the way up.
Thank you,
I think we
Emma.
have to give her the,
Beautiful.
what is it, the snap.
The poetry snap.
But I'm learning from On Boy if she's watching.
I love that little line, the backdrop to my thoughts has always been music. I like that it came right after because she was in my every thought. I just love that.
Thank you, Esther.
Intimate.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for joining Medi-Veggie today. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place, 12:15 to 12:45. We will bring you some vegetarian food and meditation and always very interesting conversation. So
I wanted to thank Uncle Chin for being here and sharing his poetry. Thank you so much, and please come again.
Thank
And
you.
remind us how love is everything, right?
Yeah, I love it.
love and
Yeah.
a smile.
Yeah, love and a smile. And Emma, thank you so much. I just love the poetry and the ginger bug.
Thank you.
Somebody
That-
else, I'm sorry to tell you that. Somebody else want to read the English. I write on my website. Văn thơ lạc Việt. Cháu spell it cho chú đi.
Yes, I'm going to put it right on the chat for everyone. VANTHOLACVIET.com. And I'm posting it right on the chat in Facebook for everyone to see.
And
But thank-
open the English so you can read the
And he wrote a book
novel
in English.
English and poetry.
Yep.
All
Cảm ơn
right.
chú rất nhiều. Thanks everyone. So we'll see you next time. And with that, I guess Esther, we're gonna wave goodbye, right?
Thanks for
Thank you.
joining us, everyone. Thank you, Uncle Jin. Thank you, Emma, for
Thank
your
you,
recipe
yeah.
and your poetry.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. See you
Thank
next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everybody.